We have £100 million as a summer budget, and my dad and myself will both simulate a season as Wolves manager, only spending within that £100 million. Of course, this is a competition to see who does best against each other. We cannot spend any more than the £100 million, but we can sign as many players as we like. And then we're going to go on holiday to simulate this season with all our new transfers with a tactic of our choice. And to make it a little bit fairer, we're also going to simulate a whole season on holiday using the same tactic, so that one of us doesn't have an overpowered tactic. So let's have a look at what I spent my £100 million on. Looking at this squad, I decided to target a great ball playing midfielder, because Ruben Neves leaves a big hole in the team. And secondly, a centre-back option with a little bit of pace. Finally, if I have any money left over, I'd like to go for a striker. So at centre-back, I brought in Kevin Danso. Great physicals, including 16 for pace, which is what I was after. I just wish he had slightly better mentals, but we can live with what we've got. And Kevin only cost me £14.25 million. For the ball-playing midfielder, Pablo Fornals was the best option, and I'm actually surprised at how good he is on Football Manager in that type of roaming playmaker role. Fornals cost me £36 million from West Ham, leaving me with just short of £50 million, which I spent just £18 million on this Turkish striker, which is easily the hardest position I had to buy for, but he has decent attributes, especially at finishing and heading. You see, because we were using the updated database, but still at the start of FM23 season, which would be 2022, double the amount of players had just moved clubs. So every player I approached did not want to leave their new club, and I seen this message way too often. But anyway, let's see what Dad thought of my transfers and take a look at what he decided to bring in. Dad, thoughts on the players that I have signed for this Wolves side?
Alright, I'm not going to slag them off, but I do think I've bought better.
You think you've bought better?
Yeah.
The confidence is there already for it to
I am
backfire.
confident this time, I'll tell you now.
Alright, okay. Interesting. Now, as I mentioned, we've both created our own tactic, and then we're going to simulate using the same tactic. So this is the tactic that I produce for this Wolves side. I've got a ball-winning midfielder in there. I've got the roaming playmaker, which is perfect for Pablo Fornals. Now, he's not selected there as the highest, but when I do best without restriction, he's put in there. Okay, we've got the advanced forward.
He's your best buy.
He is definitely the best buy.
Yeah.
We got our advanced forward of the striker that Dad has never heard of whatsoever.
I'm not even going to write him down in my book, no.
Nope. So he's in there. Obviously, Guedes is not in the side, but this is what it would look like anyway. Gegenpress. That's how I'm going with. Let's simulate this season first. Then we'll take a look at Dad's, and then we'll do both with the same tactic. Okay, I finished in 13th place.
Is it unlucky 13th or is it lucky 13th?
So they're predicted at the start to finish in 15th. So I actually consider that to be quite good, to be fair.
Yeah.
Spurs down in 12th.
And they won something.
Yeah, they did win something, to be fair. I'll give you that. But yeah, 13th place. It looks like we jumped up a couple of positions as well on that final day of the season, because past positions we were actually down in 15th until that final game where we beat Bournemouth. We did alright at some point, mid-season, all the way up in 6th place.
I'd have been worried. I'd have been worried if you'd finished there.
Yeah,
definitely.
So,
but I'm still confident.
Okay, now Cunha won the Golden Boot. Don't know how. I mean, Haaland only getting 17 goals. That's a myth. Like,
he must have been injured. He must have only played 3 games.
I mean, we'll check it. He played 22. He must have been out for a while. Torn his hamstring. He's done quite a lot of bad injuries this season. Fractured his lower leg. Ooh. Yeah, he's been out for a while. So Cunha managed to get a Golden Boot.
I could do with him having a season like that against me then.
Liverpool won the league anyway.
Right.
Now, what else have I done? Obviously, the 2 cup competitions. No European football for Wolves. But when we do other teams, there obviously could be. Competitions, I was runners-up of the FA Cup.
Ooh, well done, mate.
Yeah. So that's not bad at all. When I was knocked out the second round of the Carabao Cup by Forest, I thought, oh well, this is going to be awful in the cups.
So 13th, and you got to a final.
But I got to the final, lost to Man City, only on penalties.
Oh,
yeah,
that's bad luck.
I held them to a 0-0. I was absolutely gutted, I must admit. And the player that I signed, Danso, was sent off in the 95th minute. So he probably cost us. Neto was the only guy to miss a penalty. He must be feeling awful right now. But there we go. So that, and Erling Haaland was playing, got to a final. but a 13th place finish nonetheless. The players that I signed, we might as well highlight seeing how they've done. Goals-wise, obviously, Guedes is not even at the club, so that's embarrassing. Cunha was the top goal scorer. He's actually injured at the minute as well. He was injured since the 7th of May, so he's missed the last few. But Unial, I'm sorry, Turkish people, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. He got me 18 goals. Which,
that's good.
To be fair, and he's now wanted, which is a good sign that they've done quite well throughout the season. It's not that bad, if I'm honest. So he's done all right.
Maybe I should write him in my book again.
Yeah. Sarabia is obviously one of the key players for us. He's done very well.
Yeah,
Fornal's my Roman playmaker. He's done okay.
Yeah.
9 assists, 5 goals.
And he played nearly every game as well for you, so that's good.
Yeah. Kevin Danso did play 34 games. He only got 1 goal. It's not too bad. Compared to the players that you've signed, I think they might have a bigger impact. But that's a challenge for you to beat.
Here we go then.
Let's see who Dad's brought in. So, Dad brought in 3 players just like me. 3 the same positions as well.
Yeah.
3 very different types of players, though. The most money he spent was £40 million. Ivan Toney. What a signing.
I need a goal scorer. He knows how to score in this league.
He does know how to score in this league. That is a hell of a signing, to be fair. That's the guy that I did not realise would come to Wolves.
And it was my first choice, wasn't it?
He was your first choice. So that's very annoying from my point, but there we go. You've got Ivan Toney in, £99,000 a week, because remember, we only had a 250 grand a week budget for the wages, but you only spent £40 million. I
thought that was a good
price. That's a very good price.
I mean, we were both surprised when he said he would come to us, didn't we? And it was just a case, I don't care how much he's going to cost me. I'm having him.
I was shocked as well.
Yeah.
So, £40 million. Then you spent £9 million on Miguel Crespo.
Yeah. This is the guy I want to just be in the middle, just breaking everything up, winning the ball back for me, and then just get rid of it to the players that can do damage to me.
And he does that very well.
Yes.
15 for tackling, bravery 20.
And my favourite, aggression 17. He's in there and he's banging them all around.
Absolutely. Even argues with officials.
Yeah, get in there.
What could go wrong, viewers? Then we also have Joachim Andersen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Danish fans, if I butchered the first name. At least I got the second name right. Andersen, great player.
I just never key position for me, I think. I got one good centre defender, so I just needed another one to just come beside him.
Yeah.
And I think this is the guy for me. I didn't have a lot of wages to sort of go with, but I just got under the wage barrier.
Yes.
I think I about 248 million
grand a week, yeah.
So I just got in with this guy, so I'm happy with this.
Again, though, only 28.5 million.
Yeah, I mean, it was another player I was pleased that he did want to come to me. So and I think he's good enough for what I need.
The handsome Dane with the lovely locks. Dad's tactic, though. Let's take a look at it. Now, you've set this one up very similar to mine, but instead of having that 4-2-3-1, you've gone for a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
You're quite familiar with this tactic. You like this tactic.
I do, yeah. I do like that player in front of my defence.
Yeah.
But behind the midfielders.
Yeah.
As the ball-winning player, and that's why I bought my player from.
Absolutely.
That player.
And if you did best without restriction, your players would go
Crespo's
in. Andersen,
in there.
Crespo, Toney. You won't have to worry about that.
No.
So, that's very good. I think you've set up quite well, and I'm actually quite worried. Now, remember, we will be also simulating with a tactic that is exactly the same on each side of things. We're going to do that after we look at how Dad's done. Before we move on, though, Patreon members, we're going to bring you something else as well, aren't we, Dad?
Yes.
And anybody who wants to join the Patreon as well, patreon.com/MegaLukeGaming. This is going to be for any Patreon members on any tier. We're going to start doing almost like a weekly video podcast, aren't we? We've got the Patreon there for a reason. I want to give you guys more for that now that we've got
you support me a bit more, so we're going to give you a bit more.
Absolutely. So on this Patreon video thing, we're going to be talking about the rebuilds that have just come out for etc. So we can talk about a little bit behind the scenes and how we did etc. Football in real life.
What's going on at the present moment?
Yeah. And anything else. And we'll probably put stuff in the Patreon for you to vote on what we talk about.
How great it is that Everton are buying players that we've been buying for months, don't they?
I was going to say, probably this week's topic is going to be Beto because we love him.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And then he played well as well, though, in his first game, in that cup game. He looked so bad.
Well. Right, let's simulate this first season with Dad and see how he got on with his Wolves team. So, Dad, with your tactic, you finished in 10th place.
Get in. Yes.
Very good finish from you. Sarabia, 19 assists. I am quite surprised to not see Ivan Toney up there.
Yeah.
He was 9th with only 15 goals.
Disappointed with that.
Yeah.
But hey, I'll still take the the 10th position in the league, though.
Very good. Top half for you, 52 points. So you've definitely beat me across the league campaign. Other competitions, 4th round by Newcastle in the FA Cup, 2nd round by Newcastle.
Both. How do they do in the league, Newcastle?
They finished in 7th place.
Oh, right. They knocked me out of both cups. I
Yeah.
can't believe it when I've seen that.
If you look at your past positions, you had a good time at the start of the season, 5th, 6th. But then you kind of, you ambled around mid-table for the majority of the season.
I ever went below 12th, though, did I? So
no.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. You've definitely done better there. Now we're going to see how we have done using the exact same tactic. So this is more of a fair scenario because we're just using different players.
Yeah, so who made the team better?
Yeah, who impacted the club better using the same tactic. So let's take a look at that tactic first. Okay, so the tactic we have chosen to do this simulation with is the Season 1 Frankfurt tactic that we used in the Frankfurt versus Dortmund. Of course, it won me the league.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for that versus rebuild.
I look at this, and this is almost the same tactic for you, but more of an attacking tactic for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it changes my team a little bit more than it changes your team, I think.
I agree. So we've got obviously 2 attacking midfielders on support, 2 Segundo Volantes there. We've got that inside forward, which suits Wolves, to be fair, as well as that advanced forward, which you probably now have the upper hand on.
Yeah.
So I've already simulated my version with this. Let's take a look at who he puts in what positions, though. It looks like that Fornals and Sarabia now go as my advanced attacking midfielders. So it's completely changed the way that I was playing because I obviously had Fornals as a Roman playmaker.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different.
Still looks good, though.
It's going to bring different results.
And one thing we didn't mention in the other one was Dawson, isn't it? Dawson is injured at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So he comes in part of the season.
Through.
And he is one of the good defenders as well.
He's out for the first 2 months pretty much of the season. So we won't have him until roughly about October. So let's simulate how I have done using my players with this tactic. Okay, so I finished in 9th place.
Ooh. So you got better.
The one position above where you finished using your tactic.
Yeah.
But we know this is a good tactic because this did very well for Frankfurt, winning the league.
So it's made your team better
with
this tactic, so I've got to hope it makes my team better.
I did also lose 4 of the last 5 games of the season.
You'd have been a lot better, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So it could have been a lot better.
You could have been in the
scenario.
Champions League spot or in a European spot even.
I mean, Haaland had a better time this time round for me in my simulation.
I think that's more realistic with Haaland being there.
Yeah, absolutely. But Cunha still got 26.
Still there third, yeah.
They're not playing the attacker that I bought. Which is disappointing, isn't it? But there we go. Sarabia also got 12 assists, which is not bad. So let's look at the past positions then. Wolves. I was top for a while.
You did not drop off, though, badly.
That worries me now because either there's an injury or the fact that you've got better players might mean that you'll get a lot better than that and could actually finish top.
You've got to got an injury somewhere along your end.
Somewhere. Let's take a look. So if I go to my medical center, we can look at injury history. These are the injuries that I had across the season. Now, at the end of the season, we can see 2023 there. So that's Johnny he sprained. So that's left back. He was out for 5 weeks. If we go by date then. So do we have a lot of people out? Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot towards the end of the season where they're my first team players and they're out for like 2 to 3 weeks. Max Kilman there, he's out for 3 days, might have missed a few games, who knows.
Yeah,
so
it was never major though, was it really? There's nothing sort of said like you've lost a player for 3 months or broke a leg and out for the season. Yeah,
there's just a couple of moderate ones there where they're missing like 3 or 4 weeks, which that adds up when you're at the end of the season because this of course is the Qatar season.
Yeah.
So at the end of the season here, we're playing like games every 3 days.
Yeah.
So missing a game for missing 3 weeks there, you could miss 6 games.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So that could be the reason why. So it's all down to Dad. Can he beat that 9th place finish?
Come on.
With
Can I do you 2-0 on this one?
Okay, so with the Frankfurt tactic, looking at Dad's team, This is how it would line up best 11. Of course, it's not always going to be the same as that. We know Guides is not in the team, but that's how it looks like.
I was a bit worried of this tactic wouldn't put in Crespo, but he's in.
He's in there, yeah. Exactly. Again, next to Joe Gomez as well, who I actually think is a really good player, considering he's only 21 on this game. Kilman and Anderson, it's a better back line, I actually think. And of course, you've got the main man, Ivan Toney, up front.
And he's got a bit more support with him as well this time, I think. So
I agree. Okay.
I'm happy with this.
Let's simulate it.
Come on.
Dad, this season,
come on,
you finished 7th.
Yes, get in.
Look at the clubs you beat there as well. Chelsea, Villa. An unbelievable season that is.
Europe next season.
Europe next season. It's only a one-season challenge. 65 points though, higher than Chelsea, who kind of threw it away at the end there. Even though you drew one at the end of the season, you still got there. So it's good to see Rasmus Højlund up there. That's the first time I've ever seen him there. Man City won the league. You finished in 7th place. European football, you've easily won this challenge by all means. Did you win any other cups? Semi-final of the Carabao.
It's all right.
Not bad at all.
Happy with that.
Player statistics then. Let's have a look. Ivan Toney got 29 goals for you there.
It's good in the Premier League.
Very good.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the players that you did sign were... So, Anderson played 43 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. Miguel Crespo played 34 games, 5 off the bench, 1 goal, 1 assist.
Yeah.
Didn't have that high of an average rating. Anderson had quite a good average rating, but yeah, I think definitely you've had a much better season there.
How did I do over the whole season then?
Across the whole season.
Because you were top for a lot of the season, weren't you, really?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Let's have a look. So, past positions, you got as high as 2nd. You went nowhere near the top, but you were very consistent. You stayed in 7th. You deserve 7th place because you were there for so long. And dropped off just before the end.
I was more consistent than what you were, really.
Yes,
because you got up there, then
I dropped straight off.
Yeah.
But
so I had a better squad than you.
Oh god, not the squad player situation again.